What's up, everybody?
Yep, took my line.
I took your line. Coffee and Convo.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yes, how are you?
Cheers.
Coffee.
Another
Coffee
day
time.
of life.
Actually, coffee time can be any time in the world. I just thought of that. You know, can be coffee time all day long in my world. No,
Not in my world.
I try not to drink.
That will be for another day, another time.
Ooh.
How coffee
could, though.
and
I
personalities
could. I really could.
can come into play.
I really could, because it's more like I do like the flavor and all that, but like I like the comfort.
Yes, you like to hold the mug.
Different conversation.
But
not what we were gonna.
I
talk
hope
about.
that you guys had a great Christmas and you're getting
Yes.
set up, to finish this
Yes.
year off and kick off the next one, and just continue living your best life, being your best self, and enjoying all that Father has for you.
Of course, all the logistics, whatever. If you're here, let us know you're here.
No,
Drop a
logistics.
comment, say hi, let us know where you're watching from. You know, all the things. We would love to know. And we would love to, we are saying hi.
Yeah.
We won't say your name, but
Okay.
just let us know that you're here.
And if you're saying, Jason, you look a little bit funny, then let's address that so you're not distracted the whole time.
Well, they even see you covering up. But
You can still see my face. I have a bit of a rash around my eyes and my ears, a little large. So I'm okay. It just popped up.
Yes, he is.
I got checked out though, but it's all fine. Nothing wrong there. It will go away. But that kind of leads.
It's a thing.
It's a reality, and so we're on here even in spite of that because.
Yeah, I'm like, you want to go live? Do you want to go live looking like Hancock? That's the movie.
What?
Oh my word! This morning I was like, babe, you look okay. So his one ear, you might not be able to see, maybe a little bit, but his one ear is like twice the size than the other one, because it's like swollen, little red, rashy, bumpy, all the things, itchy. So this morning, and it's worse when he wakes up. And the evening and the morning is worse. So he was already awake, working downstairs, and I came down and I was like...
And my eyes are normally puffed, closed about
pretty bad. Anyway, I was like, man, you look like that guy, like Will Smith in that movie. What is that movie? And he couldn't think. Like, was it The Pursuit of Happiness? No, it was Hancock.
Okay.
Hancock? Is that the movie? Let me know if that's the movie. But he has like this swollen face, like really looked like that. It's Hancock, I think it was.
That's one of his movies, but
yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, that could be.
I'm sorry to interrupt, babe.
No,
no.
But thought I'd show up anyway, and just talk about life and whatever, and hopefully propel you guys where you're at. And that kind of leads to the title of this thing, something I've been processing for a few days, but I just felt Father was saying to us, and I think to other people as well, that I did not lead you this far or walk with you this far, or, you followed my voice, what you felt was me, to this place, to then turn around and lead you back like he made a mistake, Yeah. So I felt like, Father's like, hey, you went this far with me, we're going to keep going, right? Even though it doesn't look like the way you may think, it may look different. And so hence, you're going to say, well, Jason, last week you said your eye was a little blurry.
Yeah,
this week your face is a little...
inside his eye. Well, right now it just came out to the surface. And
it's a little bumpy on the outside.
See a thing.
And part of that has to do with, or most of this has to do with pressure and stress. And so that is the reality of the journey. When things don't quite look like the way you thought they would. And for me, and we'll get into that personality sometime, but I like to build structures and systems. And since we moved out here to California, there hasn't been that ability, for me to build that for myself personally. I haven't found that groove yet. and B, to be that asset to other people as much as well, which is part of my true identity, is to build systems and to bring structure. And so because of those two differences, as we navigate this season, obviously stress is not a good thing, and we all have to navigate, what feelings and things have meaning and stuff like that. And I'm a thinker, so I process everything deep.
Well, and in a way, I think what is also funny in a way, and how things are just always connected, is like, if you would have asked yourself, maybe like a couple months ago, are you stressed? You wouldn't necessarily say that you are stressed or that you feel stressed in the way that society looks at it or whatever. But obviously your body is telling you something.
Sure.
And the way you're wired, the way you think, you're always in your head. And so you don't always express...
So you have pros and cons of your strength, Your strength is an ultimate asset to you.
Yeah.
But if there aren't boundaries or kind of a fence where you draw the line and say, hey, I need to do something else. So of course I'm a thinker, I'm a internal processor, but there's got to be a place where I draw the line and like, hey, I need to process it some externally. I got to not carry everything so deep internally, but that's, I'll be fine. It's all good.
No,
I don't share this because I need help. No. But to help you,
maybe you do. But
maybe I do. I need your help. Can you help me? No, but to encourage you guys in your process and where you find yourself, and as you're coming to the close of 2021 and launching out into 2022 and all the possibilities that Father's put before you. And no matter, situation, circumstance, no matter what you find as your personality, style, and things like that, what is coming up? I just feel Father saying, like, hey, even if it doesn't look the way you thought it would look, even if you made some, of your own choices along the way, it doesn't matter how you got here. Like, I'm here with you to keep you going and to keep taking you through into my purpose, into my promise, into my identity for you. Yeah. And so I don't say that as someone who's not in the middle of the process.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to come on today and talk about it. Yeah. I've been wanting to highlight this word for people to encourage, but just to be with someone that, hey, I'm walking there with you. I'm processing it as well, figuring out in a whole move of my family and transition across the U.S. and trying to get, working at getting reestablished here after being established and building
giving up a well-oiled machine, a good running business, and income that comes with that, and different things. It just looks different in every way. For me, when you said that line,
what did that mean to you?
Yeah, but I find it not funny, almost like a contradiction, or there's a word for it, and of course I'm always hanging between Dutch and English. Like I don't just have an English version and a Dutch version. I have an in between where I'm like
Dutchless.
I don't know what it is in that language and nothing, but I know what I'm thinking, but I don't know the word. Anyway, it's like
Esther version.
Esther version. It's a contradiction almost of like when you find healing, wholeness, freedom in a certain area, and because of that, of what Father does inside of you, you shift, and you something changes in your belief system, something changes in your whole thing, which has happened quite a few times. But like over this last year, in our change, in our journey, I haven't brought you this far to what?
To lead you back.
To lead you back, yes. It's funny because you experience the freedom that brings of the new revelation or understanding that you now have about whatever it is. For me, it's been identity, huge in my how he really sees me as his daughter, and that is enough, that I don't have to do anything. I don't have to perform nothing. It shifts everything. However, you go back to certain things, as you know, and that you used to believe, and you're trying to now fit them into something. But that belief system or that framework now changed, so it doesn't fit. So again, the freedom came and it feels amazing. However, now you're in that and it doesn't feel amazing. Like, it totally makes no sense, but that's how it feels to me. Like, it feels to me, and that's really where we are at right now, where there are things that you cannot take with you in your new revelation, your new understanding, because they are part of that old, you know? And so your default wants to lead you back, actually. That's been my feeling, but that it has changed. Something has shifted. And so I really can't. However, I don't really know how to fit it, or how to frame it, or how to keep moving forward. That's where Holy Spirit guides you, and Father keeps leading you forward. But it's that feeling that sometimes, you know, in my hair.
Yeah, your hair is super distracting
having a huge thing.
Oh my goodness.
Right before we came on, I'm like, oh wow. So I just stuck it in there because I didn't feel like taking my hair out and doing it again. Great, awesome. But now I see him looking at it, I'm like, I don't care. Who cares? But does it make sense? Like that, right. That is what I feel, and sometimes it's just like, it's trust, and it's part of the journey and the process, and it's a beautiful thing in itself. However, it's like, I need to find that word. There's a really fancy word for it, but anyway. It's contradicting sometimes, because you find freedom and therefore you cannot go back. You can't, you know. So I've been saying, you know, he's changing my default. He's changing, because we can't go back.
But that's where you like take something you begin to know, and it turns into truth, and then becomes part of your identity or your DNA. Right. It becomes true revelation that transforms, that illuminates. Like when it's just something you know, or you begin to kind of comprehend, it doesn't necessarily change. Then under pressure, under stress, we always default to whatever is grounded internally within us. Yeah. And so, you know, whether it's a way of process, a way of life, a way of doing things, or it's an understanding or a truth or a new understanding of truth that comes, it's the part of like making it become part of who you are, and it becoming truth that lives within you. And you know, the Bible talks about having perseverance and endurance and faith, because it perfects you. Well, what does it do? The more you're in the grind and the navigating the situation and saying, hey, I understand this is truth, and let me make it a part of me. You know, that's where you come, well, I want strength. The strength doesn't come without a little bit of lifting, a little bit of stretching, and growth comes in those places. And so even for the way I function, or my personality, and changing things up in life with moving, it stretches me. Yeah. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it expands me and it grows me into, you know, more potential, into more of who I am. And that's the same with that truth. Yeah. It's a struggle navigating what you begin to understand, but you begin to, through time and experience and life and time with the Father, it begins to mold it and you know, kind of cement it into your identity, and becomes reality, where that becomes your new default, not your other understanding. So
right. And for me also,
paradox is the word?
Yeah, that's pretty close. It sounds pretty good. Yeah, like a that would mean like a contradiction. I quickly said synonyms for contradiction, but that didn't work. And I don't want to really be on my phone searching for something else. But so for me, there was one more thing that I was thinking of. What was I thinking of? Okay, so like also one of the things that in this whole journey of identity and things that Father has been telling me, like bringing me this far, is also knowing that you are in your being, you know, who you are to Father. So my identity as a daughter, and that I am enough in my relationship with him, in him, that's enough for our relationship. That being, in that you are whole. There is nothing broken, nothing lacking, nothing missing in that being. That's like just.
And we gotta give props to Rebecca because that's her quote.
Yes.
Rebecca
yes, he
Faith.
uses that. Yes. So in that being, but so often our doing doesn't come out of there. So we act from a place of that we always need to fix something or always need to make something whole or, you know, add something to it. But actually that's how Father created you in his image. That's a whole thing. So if you act from that wholeness out of, you know, rest, peace, joy, all the things, but like that identity, that you are already fixed, you're already whole, you are already all that you need to be. It's all inside of you, you know, and really understanding that, and that brings you to a whole other place, and that you walk in that, you know, out of that. And even though we don't always know how that looks like, I mean, right now with our situation, I mean, how do we deal with this? You know, how do we, I don't know, we don't even know what is it, but sometimes you have to ask yourself, you know, what is it we need to let go of or whatever.
Okay.
Right or not?
Yeah, I mean,
what?
Sure.
What?
Yeah, well, I mean, you say like, it's navigating new things in life. That's right. The reality, navigating new understandings, navigating different seasons and different expressions, and how are you building or reestablishing what you did, that or where Father's leading you into the next phase or next space or next mountain of influence or whatever that looks like. You know, how, because we are growing in him, it's on this next level of expression and manifestation of who he made you to be in the earth. What is that looking like? And that's, I mean, I think that's the point where we're at.
Like, practically, you know, in your head it can all make sense and it all lines up. However, to see it becoming to take shape or whatever, you know.
Right. That's where you need to begin to figure it out and say, how am I going to build this, or what is this going to look like, or if I feel called into another sphere of influence or place of influence that I didn't know that Father had me in, you know, another mountain of cultural influence that I didn't know. And suddenly I'm used to operating in one arena, and now there's a different space, and I'm new to this, and what does that look like, and how do I build in it? Yeah, that's all beginning to navigate and say, you know, how do I walk with Father in this? Where is he leading me? What table has he set before me? What opportunities are there? What do I have to do because of, you know, who I am in the earth? How can I serve the people in this place? How can I serve the people in this mountain? How can I be a voice of life and of truth and all that? And that's a complete shift of figuring things out, whether you're figuring truth, understanding out internally, or you're figuring out your expression into the world around you.
Yeah, and I think when you're in the middle of that, just be, you know, just give out of that space and be open and just continue to give, because we have so much to give. And sometimes when you're in that place, it can feel a little like, I mean, for myself, it might sometimes just be easier to shut down, or just because you don't necessarily have the answers, and you don't really,
and
understand it.
And that's why I feel like the line Father was saying to me is, I didn't lead you this far or take you this far to lead you back, or not. We didn't walk together to this point, and then he's like, whoops, turn around, go back. Although he wants to take you to the original intent and identity, but not back in the journey, right?
Right. So
that's what I mean.
I did.
But to encourage you, like, press in, move forward, journey with him, press into his heart, see what he's saying, as you've taken steps. So we could say, practically speaking, we physically transitioned from, one state to another state. We moved our family, and we're getting involved in another area and different business arenas and things like that. Or you may have changed a job, or you may have gotten involved with another group in your town or your city, or, your family may be, I don't know what dynamics are changing and shifting, and where you feel like, oh, what's next? How do I navigate this? How do I build in this new space or new promise, no matter how great, whatever it is, it's like, we didn't go this far for me to abandon you, is what I feel Father's saying. It's like, no, I'm going to keep leading you into the promise, into the fullness of the life I have for you, of the things I have for you, and who you can be and what you can do. And so just press into that, find the peace and joy in that as you begin to look for the stewardship of those opportunities.
And don't be afraid to explore that, and not to have it figured out right away.
Doesn't have to be perfect.
That's for me a little bit. I'm not a perfection in any way, but when I look at my journey, sometimes I'm like, oh my word, Esther, for real? Can't you for once just figure out the dang thing and just do it, But like, you don't go and explore if it's in practical ways of like things you like or enjoy, or maybe different people or whatever. Don't be afraid to try something out, and if it doesn't work, or you thought you liked it and you don't, that's okay. I'm talking to myself right now, because I don't just have to have it figured out, and you're not going to figure it out until you try something new. Yeah. Right?
That's good. So I hope this encourages you on your journey, in your process. Father's here with you. You're walking together. Mm-hmm. You're not doing life for him. You're living life with him. He's relational.
Yes.
He's a relational father.
Yeah.
First and foremost, a father who created you, his son and daughter that he wants to have a relationship with and live life with, not apart from, not watching you do for him, but operating together.
Yeah.
And so walking that way and saying, hey, this is in front of us, or we're navigating this space, but Father, you're with me. We're walking together. Yeah. What are you showing me? What are you communicating to me in this? How can I communicate to you? How can we walk together and continue to grow and live life fully? Yeah. So, happy New Year as you go. May this be kind of the anchor point for 2022, that you have a loving Father who is walking with you, doing life with you. And as you partner with him, in everything that you do, life in the kingdom, life in his kingdom, life with your Father, that you would see just the complete joy and peace and life that comes from his presence, and the life that he's given you, and the identity that he's placed inside of you. We champion you in your unique expression, in your unique sphere of influence, wherever that is. I want to celebrate you today in your personality, style.
You're awesome.
You may say, well, I don't know how this fits in a kingdom viewpoint or in a ministry viewpoint or whatever. Listen, the kingdom of your Father is inclusive of life, and everywhere you can have influence and impact, just bringing solutions and value and serving people. So have a great start to your new year. And we'll be back chatting to you next week.
We'll be back.
Thank you everyone for joining, and hello to you all who are popping on here. We
thank you.
Appreciate you joining us, and love you all. So, bye.